Chapter 6. They stepped into the grand chamber, a vast room lined with statues of fallen heroes whose legacies were etched into the stone walls. King Aurelius placed a reassuring hand on his son's shoulder, his eyes filled with a mix of pride and anticipation. "You'll be fine, Joshua. Now let's see where your power truly lies." Joshua, still overwhelmed by the whirlwind of events, nodded hesitantly. "Okay, let's start." Aurelia, the High Magister, gestured towards a stone platform at the center of the room. "Step onto the stone path and just breathe," she instructed calmly. "You're going to feel pressure coursing through your body. Inside each of us are reserve tanks that store our power. Some people have one, others have more. There are even legends of those who possessed 5 or 6, but that's exceedingly rare. Don't worry, just let the energy flow through you, and it will be over soon." Joshua nodded and stepped onto the platform. "All right, I'm ready," he said, steeling himself. "Everyone, stand back," Aurelia warned as she began to shout the incantation. "Deep within, poder es tuyo. I see your strength, claro como el río. No fear shall bind, no doubt shall stay. Eres fuerza pura, you light your way. Eyes wide open, veo tu poder. With every breath, you rise y crecer." Suddenly, spirals of blue and red light surged around Joshua, wrapping him in a glowing embrace. At first, it was a strange sensation, but then the pressure intensified. The lights constricted around him, and he could feel his energy being pulled and twisted. "It's got a hold of me! It hurts!" Joshua shouted, but his voice was drowned out by the pulsating light. The pain grew unbearable. His eyes and mouth emitted blinding rays of blue and red, and the ground beneath him cracked from the sheer force of his power. Aurelia's chant faltered as Joshua was lifted off the ground, floating above the platform. "What's happening to him?" King Aurelius cried, panic flickering in his eyes. "What's going on?" I don't know," Aurelia stammered. "Joshua is trapped in his mind. We'll have to wait. I've never seen this before. He nearly destroyed the platform." "Joshua, wake up!" the king shouted desperately. Monarch held Aurelius back. "Calm down, king. He'll be all right. Your son is stronger than you realize." Inside his mind, Joshua found himself in an endless expanse of white light, pierced by flashes of color. He looked around, confused and disoriented. "Where am I?" he wondered aloud. A deep, sinister voice echoed through the emptiness. "Oh, dear boy, who might you be?" "Who's there?" Joshua yelled, panic rising. "Where am I? Answer me!" "Oh, young one," the voice mocked, dripping with dark amusement. "You're the one I sensed, strong and untamed." Suddenly, a figure dashed past Joshua, cloaked in shadows and wearing a white mask. "Listen to me," the masked figure said urgently. "You're in the dreamscape, a realm that exists between thought and reality. That voice you hear is Kragan, one of the ancient gods of chaos. Do not listen to him. You need to wake up. Focus on the power you felt earlier, and think of nothing but waking up." The figure moved in front of Joshua, trying to shield him as Kragan's presence grew stronger, manifesting as a dark silhouette. "So, you're one of the evil gods they've been talking about all day," Joshua said, his voice shaking but defiant. Kragan laughed, his form shifting and contorting. "Oh, so now I'm famous." He lunged at the masked figure, shattering half of her mask with a powerful strike, revealing a glimpse of a woman's face beneath. "Go!" she screamed at Joshua. "Wake up!" In an instant, Joshua snapped back to reality, his body slamming onto the cold stone platform. "He's back!" Aurelia cried, rushing to his side. King Aurelius ran to his son, lifting him gently. "Joshua, are you all right?" Joshua blinked, his surroundings slowly coming into focus. Yeah, Dad. I think I'm okay. What happened to you? Aurelius asked, his voice filled with concern. I was in the dreamscape, Joshua said, still disoriented. The dreamscape? Aurelius, Aurelia, and Monarch echoed in disbelief. How is that even possible? Aurelia quickly checked the results of the test. Oh my, King Aurelius, you need to see this. The king hurried over, glancing at the glowing runes on the screen. Monarch, come look, said King Aurelius. This is unbelievable, Monarch replied, his voice filled with astonishment. Aurelia's expression was one of awe and bewilderment. Joshua, you've exceeded all expectations. I've never seen readings like this. I'll need to call the council tomorrow, but for now, you need rest. Today has been a long day. Aurelia led them through the garden, the night sky glittering above them. You have a brave heart, Joshua, she said softly. But you must rest. Your mind and body need time to recover. As they exited the Hall of Luminescence, King Aurelius turned to Armin, one of his trusted guards. Please escort my son to his chambers. Make sure he has everything he needs. Armin bowed. Of course, Your Majesty. Follow me, Prince Joshua. Joshua followed Armin back to his room, the weight of the day pressing heavily on his shoulders. He changed into his nightclothes and lay down on the luxurious bed, his mind racing with thoughts of gods, powers, and the burden of responsibility. But exhaustion soon overtook him, and he fell into a deep sleep, the echoes of the dreamscape still lingering in his dreams. The first light of dawn crept through the windows, casting a gentle glow across Joshua's room. He woke slowly, stretching and taking a moment to gather his thoughts. The events of the previous day seemed almost like a dream. A soft knock on the door interrupted his thoughts. Prince Joshua, are you awake? Armin's voice called gently from the hallway. Yes, I'm awake, Joshua replied, sitting up. Armin entered with a respectful nod. Good morning, Prince. The king requests your presence for breakfast. Today marks the beginning of your training with the ethereal guardian. Joshua nodded. Thank you, Armin. I'll be ready shortly. He dressed quickly. As he made his way to the dining hall, he felt nerves creeping in. Today, his journey into the unknown truly began. At the breakfast table, King Aurelius was already seated. He greeted Joshua warmly as he joined them. Good morning, Joshua, the king said. I trust you slept well. Yes, I did, Joshua replied. I'm ready to begin my training. King Aurelius nodded approvingly. That's the spirit, my son. After breakfast, we'll head to the training grounds. There, you will begin to unlock your true potential. Joshua took a deep breath, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Today was a new day, a dawn of revelation, and he was prepared to embrace his destiny. Meanwhile, in the dreamscape, the figure with the now broken white mask sat meditating in solitude. Her thoughts were a tangled web of uncertainty. Was that boy one of the figures Lyra had seen battling the two wretched gods? She pondered. But he's just a kid. It couldn't be. She sighed, knowing she had been lucky to find him. If Kragan hadn't revealed himself, she might never have seen the boy. I know Kragan won't make the same mistake again. Hopefully, I'll get lucky once more. With that thought, she closed her eyes, returning to her meditation, the flickering lights of the dreamscape dancing around her,